I want to share the story of how I married my high school sweetheart. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and my husband is 27. Back in high school, I had a huge crush on him. He was tall and good-looking, I mean really, tall. In those days, a guy who was 5 feet 7 inches was considered tall, so don't judge, and for someone like me who's just 4 feet 10 inches, he seemed really tall. One Thursday after lunch, he came into our classroom to help our pregnant science teacher set up the projector. I whispered to my best friend about how handsome and tall he was. She teased me, saying he wasn't the type of guy I usually liked. As he was leaving after helping the teacher, I noticed he was with a guy from a different friend group that I knew. As time passed, I asked my friend if she knew his number, and she laughed, not knowing it. However, I did know his name. I told her I just wanted to get to know him better. After school, I received a message from a random number. "Hello, is this my name?" I asked who it was, and they replied with his name. I was surprised and asked how they got my number. He simply said it was a long story. We chatted a bit, and since the next day was Friday, sometimes we had a First Friday Mass in our Catholic school, which lasted about an hour. During the Mass, we didn't talk, but our eyes did the talking. That's when we started getting closer. I introduced him to my friends, and he did the same, resulting in a new friend group that included both of us. Interestingly, my friend and his friend from different circles ended up falling in love with each other. One night, he confessed his feelings for me. While I did have feelings for him too, I wasn't ready and turned him down. We had a disagreement for a different reason, and things got a little tense. We didn't spend time together at school for a week, and during this time, our friends who were dating decided to arrange a get-together. He apologized, and I accepted it on the same day. As months went by, he developed feelings for other girls. One day, while he was walking me home, I opened up and confessed, "You know, I used to like you, right?" He looked at me, surprised, and asked why I hadn't told him. I chuckled and said I wanted to get to know him better before expressing my feelings. As time passed, our bond grew stronger. We faced challenges, including a serious fight that led to our friend group splitting up. We didn't talk for almost a month, even though we still saw each other. Eventually, we were invited to a gathering, but they arrived late, which frustrated me. I messaged him about it and also shared my feelings about the fight. He responded, saying that he felt I had been the only one there for him during that difficult time. We talked it out, and I explained my side of the story. We realized that communication had been lacking, leading to the misunderstanding. In that same month, he had a basketball game, and despite not talking much, I attended it as promised. Some girls who used to have a crush on him were jealous of our closeness, which we found amusing. Over the years, he developed feelings for me again. One rainy day, he called me after a fight with his mother. I rushed to meet him, and seeing him cry was a shock, as I'd never seen him cry before. We went to my house, and after a heart-to-heart talk, I suggested he stay the night. We spent the evening watching a movie, and he fell asleep. I arranged a comfortable sleeping arrangement for him and tucked him in. Many things happened between us. He confessed his feelings for me once more and expressed his willingness to court me patiently. After years of friendship, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and our parents supported our decision. Now, we're happily married, and I continue to support him during his basketball games. He often tells me how lucky he feels to have me and appreciates that I'm not the jealous type. He has expressed his deep love for me, and I cherish him immensely.
Once upon a time, in the small town of Belleville, there lived a young writer named Jack. He was known for his witty sense of humor, and a talent for turning everyday incidents into side-splitting tales. However, there was one particular accident from his past that stood out among the rest. It all happened during a rainy autumn day, when Jack was still in high school. He had a massive crush on a girl named Emily, a talented painter with a smile that could light up the darkest room. Jack was determined to impress her, and he came up with the most absurd plan he could think of to catch her attention. It was a blustery afternoon when Jack decided to showcase his skateboarding skills to Emily. Now, it should be noted that Jack was not the most athletic person, and skateboarding was a foreign territory for him. Nonetheless, he believed that a grand display of bravery would win Emily's heart. With a borrowed skateboard in hand, Jack set off down the steep hill that led to the school. His heart pounded in his chest, a mix of excitement and trepidation. As he picked up speed, his enthusiasm grew, but so did his nervousness. In a split second, he lost control, and with arms flailing wildly, he crashed into a pile of leaves, leaving him sprawled in a hilarious heap. As laughter erupted around him, Jack felt his cheeks flush with embarrassment. But to his surprise, Emily was among those laughing, her bright eyes gleaming with amusement. Instead of feeling humiliated, Jack found himself laughing along, realizing the absurdity of his stunt. Fast forward to the present, Jack was now a successful writer, known for his comedic prowess. He had published several books, and was admired for his ability to find humor in the most mundane situations. As he sat in his favorite cafe, sipping his coffee and jotting down ideas for his next book, destiny had something extraordinary in store for him. A woman with long, flowing hair and an infectious laughter walked into the cafe. She looked familiar, and Jack's heart skipped a beat. It was Emily, the same girl he had tried to impress with his skateboarding stunt all those years ago. He couldn't believe it, fate had brought them together again. Embarking on a wave of courage, Jack approached Emily with a sheepish grin. He introduced himself, half expecting her not to remember the clumsy teenager from their high school days. To his surprise, Emily's eyes lit up with recognition, and she burst into laughter. "You're the skateboard guy, right?" she said, still chuckling. "I can't believe you remembered that too." Relieved and intrigued, Jack joined her laughter, and soon they were reminiscing about their teenage escapades. Emily revealed that she had always found his quirky sense of humor endearing. As they chatted, Jack discovered that Emily, too, had pursued a career in the arts. She was a talented painter. As weeks turned into months, Jack and Emily found themselves spending more time together. Their shared love for creativity and laughter strengthened their bond. They supported each other's passions, attended each other's exhibitions, and even collaborated on projects that combined their unique talents. Their connection went beyond the laughter and playfulness, as they discovered a profound understanding of one another. Through thick and thin, they navigated life's joys and challenges, weaving their lives together like a beautifully intricate tapestry. In time, Jack and Emily's friendship blossomed into a beautiful romance. Their love story was a testament to the unexpected turns destiny can take, bringing two souls together in the most amusing and delightful ways. As they continued to build their lives together, Jack found endless inspiration in their journey. He wrote about the hilarious twist of fate that led to their reconnection, sharing it with the world and bringing laughter to countless readers. In the end, Jack's past accident, once an embarrassing memory, had turned into the catalyst that brought him closer to the love of his life. It was a reminder that sometimes, the most comical accidents could lead to the most profound and joyful destinies. And so, the pages of Jack's life continued to unfold, filled with laughter, love, and a deep appreciation for the quirks of fate that shaped his path. As he and Emily walked hand in hand, they knew that their destiny, once touched by hilarity, was now an enchanting love story for the ages. The misadventure that had once seemed like a mortifying blunder had become the magical moment that ignited a lifelong connection between two souls destined to be together.
Once upon a time, during my tenure as a detective in the local police department, I've since embraced retirement's tranquility. A peculiar incident transpired while I was still on active duty. Throughout my career, I staunchly upheld the principles of legality and integrity, believing that hypocrisy had no place within the ranks of law enforcement. Away from my professional obligations, I owned a splendid ski boat that provided my family with endless joy on weekends. Our favorite pastime involved voyaging to the nearby public lake, where we would revel in tubing, water skiing, and swimming. My children, aged 12 and 13 at the time, were particularly fond of these outings, often requesting to frequent the lake every spare moment during the summer months. One fateful day, as the sun cast its golden hues upon the waters, my daughter, with an air of urgency, revealed the pressing need for a visit to the restroom. At the lakeside, a public beach housed the necessary facilities, and it was our custom to disembark at a safe distance from the designated swimming area before heading ashore. As our boat approached the shoreline, a notable sight greeted us: a lady reclining on a lounge chair, soaking in the sun's embrace. Intriguingly, my children leaned in to inform me that this lady happened to be none other than the notorious mean lunch lady from their elementary school days. Guiding the boat toward the shore at a gentle pace, I maintained a comfortable distance of about 50 feet from her position, ensuring we remained a substantial 250 feet away from the demarcated swimming region. To my surprise, the lady rose from her chair, her gaze fixed upon me with an intensity that was impossible to ignore. As the boat glided closer to the shore, she unleashed a vocal barrage, decrying my supposed infringement of the law. Wearing a friendly smile, I inquired, "What law are we breaking?" In response, she vociferously claimed that I was operating a motorboat within a swimming area, pointing towards the marked zone some 250 feet away. With a sense of bemusement, I gestured towards the distant swimming area and sought clarification. "Are you referring to that swimming area?" She vehemently affirmed. Patiently, I explained that our boat had never ventured near or into the swimming area and that our current proximity was as close as we would come. Her assertion, however, took an unexpected turn. According to her interpretation of the law, any boat's contact with any shore was strictly prohibited. A notion that led me to ponder the feasibility of disembarking from a boat without breaching this apparently ironclad edict. Fueling her resolve, she escalated her fervent proclamations, declaring that her son, who was conveniently a deputy, would soon be arriving to take stern action against my perceived transgression. As anticipated, her phone call materialized, connecting her with her son, the deputy. She proceeded to provide him with my boat's hull number, an identifier akin to a license plate for watercraft. With a confident grin, she announced, "My son, the deputy, will promptly deal with you." And then came the moment that caught me off guard. Addressing me by my full name, she offered me the phone, setting the stage for an unexpected encounter. Without skipping a beat, I inquired, "May I know who I'm speaking to?" A brief pause ensued before a voice responded, "This is Deputy so-and-so from the County Sheriff's Office." Interrupting him, I ventured, "Deputy, are you familiar with the concept of a lien violation?" The line fell silent, inviting me to elucidate. A lien violation involves using official resources to disclose personal information, a transgression that even law enforcement officers are not exempt from. Attempting to regain his composure, he rambled about boat hull numbers and public records. However, I remained steadfast, correcting his misunderstanding of lien violations. As his explanations faltered, I seized the moment to assert, "Deputy so-and-so, let me clarify the nature of a lien violation." The ensuing exchange was marked by my measured explanations and his faltering responses. In a state of disbelief, he grappled with the weight of his misconception, while I continued to illuminate the specifics of the transgression he and his mother were inadvertently committing. In a final attempt to reassert his stance, he cited boat hull numbers and public records. Calmly, I reminded him, "That's not what constitutes a lien violation." Unwavering, I broached the option of informing his superior about his mother's actions, leaving him to contemplate the potential repercussions of his involvement. With the stage set for a resolution, I proposed, Here's my suggestion, Deputy. Return the phone to your mother and advise her to depart from the beach immediately. Let's put this matter behind us. The line crackled with a long exhale, followed by his reluctant acceptance. Fine, okay. As the phone transferred ownership from my hand to his mother's, her whispered dialogue conveyed a clear sense of frustration. In a matter of moments, she collected her belongings with an air of defeat and promptly departed from the scene, avoiding eye contact as she retreated. This encounter remained a singular instance, leaving me with a tale that underscored the intricate dance between authority, interpretation of the law, and the pursuit of justice. The lake became our shared narrative's backdrop, as we, each in our respective roles, navigated the currents of perception, knowledge, and power.